This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to We'll Run For It. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Aaron.
Hello.
Michael.
Hello.
And Diana.
Hi.
I feel like he does this on purpose. He waits till the exact moment when none of us are paying attention.
I'm always paying attention.
Michael's always watching.
With his short shorts and his chest.
Deep V-neck.
Deep
V and
Deep V just
about-
saying hello.
and about 6 inches above the knee shorts.
Oh my god.
It's like we're back in the old days.
Yeah, you were like, I have basketball shorts in, and I'm like, Larry Bird's basketball shorts.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely not Courtney DeWalter basketball shorts.
I mean, they probably are if I stand up, but last time I stood up, my
definitely not.
bulge was in Tom's
Oh my
face
god,
on the screen.
stop it.
Oh, I'm changing my something good to Michael's bulge.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Oh god.
That's what I'm
All right.
thankful for. So
My something good is chamois butter.
we're not there yet. We're
Oh.
not
Oh,
there
sorry.
Yet.
Sorry.
So I
That's
just
okay.
wanted to tell you that today I got an email
Yeah.
from the New York City Marathon that told me that I came in 54,982nd place.
Oh.
Wow.
Out of
Out
how
of-
many?
55,529. So I was 547 people from the
That's amazing.
That's pretty great.
You want to talk about back of the pack?
Uh, wow.
Hey, you did it.
Wow.
I saw the number and I was like, wait a second, that's barely 500 from the back.
Yeah, because there's only 55,000
And then I
finishers,
looked at the
so.
finishers. I was like, yes, that means I was 547th from the back of the pack.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but like, okay, so I guess people start at different times.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be dumb.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it
I was
is.
going to be dumb. I was about to ask a dumb question because I don't understand how time works.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And it's
weren't
like a
people
couple
finishing?
hours, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like, weren't
Oh, yeah,
people
I
finishing
finished-
at like 10 p.m.?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they release people like
But
real late.
they stopped because I started at like 9:12.
Yeah.
I finished in 7 hours and whatever I finished in, I don't even remember at this point. But people who started at like 11:30 also probably, they were the ones coming in at that back end that you saw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought my placing was
I love
was
that.
fun. Was a
That's great.
fun little tidbit.
Yeah.
It
Because
is.
I got that
pretty
email
good.
today.
Impressive.
Impressive.
Hey.
I don't know if impressive. 7 hours, 37 minutes, and 34 minutes and 37 seconds.
I feel like my dopey was like 7 hours. No, it was just under 7 hours. It was 6. It was like 6:53 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I took a lot time to
That's
do
almost as long as
that.
it took us to do Rockin' the Knob that time.
Oh, God.
Is that when I
Oh, man.
DNS?
No, that was the
DNF?
year.
Year
no,
before
that
when
was
we
the year
finished.
Before when we finished.
Yeah.
Ah.
The first year we finished. The second year we did.
Yeah.
So how is everybody doing?
I mean, cancer's stupid, and I hate chemo, but that's a different podcast.
That's okay. You can talk about your
Yeah, no,
stuff here.
I'm on a new treatment, and it sucks. That's all. That's really about as much as I can say about it.
Yeah. I mean,
Is that
it's-
there's a
yeah.
lot of vomiting happening,
Mm.
and just when you think that it's impossible for more to come out, somehow it does.
Ooh, attractive.
Yeah.
Yes, especially for Michael.
It's great for sleep.
He's gonna like banish you downstairs so he can sleep.
Yeah, it's bad. It was bad. So somehow I said last time that I got lucky with the New York City Marathon. We'll call it the universe, if we will, was in my favor, where I did not get sick that week. And then this week it returned with a vengeance.
It's like your body knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure like running the marathon, I'm sure like ran you down a little bit, right? Like your body
Yeah.
wasn't at like 100% going
But it was like,
in.
yeah, because it was like a full week after. So I sort
Yeah.
of hoped that long week in between would at least recover me enough that I'd be able
I
to.
also wonder if we were sick because we were both incredibly congested all week.
But we also had a ton of wildfires in New Jersey last week.
So we couldn't tell.
So we couldn't tell the difference between allergies, air quality, and
being sick. Yeah.
Oh.
Because it didn't, hasn't rained for 2 months until the other day.
Oh my God. We're in dire
It is
drought
so dry.
in
It's insane.
Jersey.
Yeah.
It's
we had
same
like
here, and
10
it
wildfires.
just finally started like drizzling a little bit today.
No, we had like 10 full wildfires going on here.
Why? It's all those like New Jersey mob wives throwing their cigarettes out the car window.
Sorry, we have a cat fight happening.
Yeah, always been weird.
So how's things going with you guys?
Good. I get my stitches not taken
Oh.
out, but I get them inspected tomorrow.
The gums.
The gums.
So for my gums, it feels okay. I've got like 2 loose like stitch threads like coming out that I just like feel all the time.
Mm.
But like I'm not in any pain from it like at all. It's just annoying. So I'm gonna go in there and she's gonna tell me I screwed something totally up because I forget that I'm not supposed to like chew stuff over there until like I bite into something and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be there. So I'm sure like I've messed something up and I'm gonna go in and that lady that like manhandled me is gonna yell at me.
Yeah.
My mom was like, you should talk to her about it. And I was like, honestly, I would rather die than have a conversation with this woman about how she manhandled me in my surgery. Like I would rather die than have that
Just get her to
conversation. She's like,
listen
she
to
needs to know. And I'm like,
Have her listen to the podcast.
she
And then
was
you don't-
so rough. She
You're
was
like,
so rough.
"Hey,
I almost cried. When Tom
I
picked me up,
happen-
I had tears in my eyes because she was so rough with me.
You should just be like, hey, I happen to have this podcast. And you might want to listen to the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
You don't need to listen to the rest, just those 10 minutes.
Just that early
the
part.
10 minutes. It was so traumatizing for me. It was.
Oh, no.
I have some news. So, and I know we're not really talking about politics or anything controversial, but like if you know me, you know that for the longest time I've been very loyal, and like I finally broke rank and decided to make a different decision. So since I started running, I've been in Ghosts, and I just bought my first pair of glycerins,
Oh.
and they work out fantastic.
Do you like them better than your Ghosts?
I like them kind of exactly the same. They're very similar.
They're very
shoes.
similar. I started running in glycerins, but Ghosts had more styles and colors, so I kind of switched.
Yeah.
I am in glycerins. That's
I
what
do.
run.
I like them a lot.
I don't like the adrenalines. There's not enough.
I don't like the adrenalines either. I bought a pair of adrenalines and I've worn them like 3 times.
Yeah, I've got a pair. Like they used to only do like their holiday shoes in adrenaline, so I have one pair of like Christmas adrenalines or something.
Yeah. I did not. There was something about them. They weren't like cushy at all. They felt like hard on my foot. I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like they
They're
just
not
didn't
cushy enough.
feel right on my foot. As soon as I put my foot in them, I knew. But I had bought them for a springtime surprise because I wanted all white shoes for when I was doing the Tinkerbell costume. So I could put the green pom-poms on them.
Yep. I think
So I chose fashion over function.
that's what you do.
That's smart.
I have a bunch of the old like New Balance Disney sneakers from when they came out in like 2015, and I bought them like I hadn't done that thing where I bought my running shoes too big, so I bought them like the exact size of my foot basically, and I never wear like any of them anymore because they're like a 7.5 rather than an 8.
Yeah.
And now honestly, I buy like
the same size
8.5. So yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out for the Disney shoes.
Oh.
I'm not excited for what comes out of the people who attempt to fight over them.
Yeah, that's
It's going to be a nightmare.
But
It's gonna be crazy.
I hope they make enough because I am kind of excited to see what they come out with since and if they do them in multiple styles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you see that? And it was hot gossip over on the Rise and Run page.
I mean, that's where I get all my news from.
But
so
where they
probably.
added Max
and Powerline.
and Powerline to the banner for Marathon Weekend.
Here's the thing. I feel like Disney is constantly several years too late for whatever bubble it is. Like, everyone kind of loves Max and Goofy, but I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, they were like huge. They were like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, they blew up. There were tons of like
Powerline Max was like
Powerline Max.
I think
was like
it's because they are doing it's
90s?
It's Goofy's 20th anniversary.
Oh,
Ah.
gotcha. That makes more sense.
That does.
Well, that makes
Yeah.
sense then.
Yeah, it's-
How many
It's
times are you
Goofy's
going to
20th.
hear
Yeah.
stand out and
I don't
eye to
so
eye?
many times.
I
All-
don't know anything about Powerline. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
definitely
You're
far
not the
out of
you're not the
your-
right age. It's,
You are-
it's millennials that
Greg,
are very into
Greg
that.
is the ultimate
Yes,
age
yeah.
for
Gotcha.
so yeah.
Are you-
He's
And
a
I'm
huge
a little
Powerline.
younger than Greg.
You are.
So.
You are.
I
you
was
familiar-
just as
Powerline
bald, but
during marathon
You
weekend
were.
in 2018.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
had a terrible wig.
yeah, I remember that costume. There's
And
that picture
Karen
of you like
from,
making the
like Karen from Shenanigans thought it was my real hair. She's like, "Is that your hair?" And I was like, "First off, it's the work because I bought like an Elvis wig because I should have made something with like foam and I
Oh,
didn't want to
man.
do that, so I just bought an Elvis wig. And it's like the worst wig on the planet. Why would that be my real hair?
Well, I have a red wig to wear
Oh,
for
yeah.
Jollywood nights.
Yep.
Ooh.
So I'm excited for my long red hair.
And it's gonna be a little cool that night, so it should
Yeah.
be comfortable to wear.
I was mad when we went. It was cold.
It
was
was like
freezing.
I bought a
I think
sweatshirt.
really hot when we went.
Yeah, and it thunderstormed.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. So it's supposed to be like pretty comfortable this
Yeah.
weekend. So it's
Yep.
should be nice.
Oh, in other Run Disney news, not to spend a ton of time on this, but Lululemon, as everyone thought, dropped a collection.
Yep.
And I like some of it. I don't like all of it. I don't know why the Mickey looks so weird on it. It looks like he's supposed to be holding something in like all of the Mickeys. It's very strange.
There was only really one thing that I was like, I would buy that.
I like the little like sports bra, and I kind of like the shorts. I don't buy a lot of Lululemon because I think it's expensive, so I only go in and get it like super cheap.
What's the one where you can see through people's pants? Wasn't there a legging brand that like is basically see through? Isn't that Lululemon?
No.
No,
That's like the
definitely
opposite
not.
of Lululemon. Like
Yeah.
Lululemon are like the $150
High quality,
leggings, high
like,
quality.
yeah.
Like you could fall down a mountain and they like won't rip. They'll like replace them if they rip.
I know that they had. I'm trying to find it now. They had a bra that was like yellow and red. That I was like, that's cute.
And I kind of want like the sweatpants, but I refuse to pay $150 for sweatpants.
Yeah.
Like
I get that.
I won't do it. Like, and when I buy Lulu, I only get it when it's like on sale, or like sometimes they'll have stuff at Charm City Run, and I can use like my coupons and stuff.
Oh
or my
yeah, yeah,
coupons.
yeah.
So
Well,
you know what
it's-
Tom's thinking of? He's thinking of Lulu Row.
Oh, LuLaRoe.
Or like-
yeah.
yeah.
That was this crap everybody sold on Facebook. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
I started to say it, but there's a Netflix documentary called
Yes.
Lula Rich.
Oh
Yep.
Yeah.
We watched
Fascinating.
it. Yeah, we watched
Yeah, we
it.
watched it.
But yeah, Lululemon is something very different.
Yes.
But I am excited. I'm excited that Brooks is going to do shirts now. I think I don't know if they announce it, but I think that's what everyone's assuming, that they'll do the race shirts now.
I think they announced that they were doing the shirt.
Were they good?
Yeah.
Because the Champions ones are so nice, and I love them, and I still wear them all the time. Any of these like crappy new material, the Run
Oh,
Disney
so
shirts,
I know
have
we've
been,
talked about this. I think
like
we
they
talked about this on the last one.
snag. They're
Yeah.
just terrible. Like I
just
hate
don't-
you
I don't
like
even
them.
like-
Tom likes them.
I don't even really like the print that's on them.
It's so
Like
heavy.
it's so heavy and thick,
Yeah.
and like it just doesn't feel like good on your.
I
body.
never wear them, but I wear my old Champion ones all the time,
Same.
like the long
Yeah.
sleeve ones.
Hey, Michael,
Yes.
do we have any new 5-star reviews?
Yep. So it looks like we have two. One on Pocket Casts from Rob York, And then we have,
Well, they didn't leave an actual review because you can only leave stars.
yes,
right?
there's no actual reviews on Pocket Cast, just
Yeah.
stars. And then, of course, we have legendary Bill Stewart. Listening to these close friends talk about running, Disney, life, and every topic in between has sparked so much joy. This is my favorite podcast. They've kept me entertained on long runs, car
Aw.
rides, where our whole family listens and laughs, and frolicking around the house. I love those frolicking around the house. Inside the Runner Studio episodes are great to learn about other runners. I'd give the podcast a trillion stars if I could. It's
Aw,
super-sized awesomeness. He is the
I
best.
love Bill Stewart.
Yeah,
So
so
great.
awesome. Yeah,
He is
Also,
legendary.
did you know that we were close friends? I didn't know this.
I appreciate that.
Is this
Yeah.
news
Yeah,
to
We
you?
like each other.
yeah,
Oh, we
What?
do?
yeah.
Wait, I like
mean-
Tom?
This is
Oh.
this is a professional relationship.
It wasn't about
We're
Bill.
all business.
I'm besties with
Yeah.
Bill. It was more the
Well,
listening
I
to these
mean,
close friends talk.
Like, I exposed my crotch to Tom.
oh,
on
okay.
the
So
start
that
of the
makes
episode.
you.
Aaron, before you got here, the way he turned on his camera and he was like leaned so close to it, and you almost saw nipple. Like that's
You
how
almost
far
saw
the
nipple.
deep V went because of his microphone. And I didn't have my headphones on, and he could tell I was laughing at him. Like I hadn't picked up anything. It was just.
Oh gosh, yes. Michael and I have returned to couch podcasting life and went the opposite way of professionalism. And apparently, milky white thighs and deep V's are back
Yep.
in our lives.
I was on the Peloton, so I had a tank top. I had to wear a tank top because Dana was going to be coming back.
yeah.
So I usually just don't wear a shirt because I'm in the house.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal.
But my friend and I went to dinner.
yeah.
And so he
Oh.
was afraid Dana was
I
going
was
to come
trying to
back and see his
be-
nips.
You know.
Well, I mean,
Discreet.
Cinderella can see your nipples, but not Dana, apparently.
It's New Jersey, not Disney World.
Yeah, what do you think this is? Magic Kingdom? You run around shirtless?
Inappropriate.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you, Bill, for your wonderful review.
Yes, thank you,
We're
Bill.
sorry we took that down a road that no one needed or wanted.
They all want it. That's why they're here.
Bill, you're amazing. So friends,
Yes.
close personal friends,
Yes.
what are we running for this week?
Oh, well, I was gonna say I can jump in first because my training plan for Donna doesn't start until the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So
Ooh.
I'm giving my knee a much needed break.
Good idea.
I've just been Pelotoning and I'm not taking it crazy on the Peloton. Like I'm not going full
Just low
karate
impact.
chop, Robin. Like I'm kind of taking everything as like a low impact. And right now I'm doing exclusively holiday rides. So that's
Well-
what I'm doing.
I will like to say that you did just hear the time that I finished the New York Marathon in, correct? Not much training needs to be involved
Yep.
to keep up with me.
Yep.
just saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
Time on feet is
Yes.
probably going to be more important than the actual run training if you're
Yeah,
planning to
that's-
run with me.
That's kind of what I'm thinking as well. But like, I don't want my body to hurt. So I actually put like
Fair.
a training ish plan on it, but it was more miles. And I'm just going to go on vibes basically.
Yeah.
But my knee's feeling much, much better now that I've kind of given it a rest. I guess due to my age, it gets real stiff when I'm sitting around. I've become like that person where like I stand up and I'm
That-
like my knee.
All right, Meemaw.
That 40, that once you hit that put that 4 in front of
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
it's
man.
all downhill is what I
Yeah,
was
it gets real
told.
stiff. But I can tell, like, when I first went to PT after I hurt my knee, one of the things they do is like you lay your legs out flat, right? And they measure how close your knee gets to the floor.
Okay.
And for a while, mine were both like super flat. And now I can tell, like, I can't get that knee back down to the floor. Like, it, like, sticks
Interesting.
up a little bit. So I can tell
Interesting.
that it's
I'm
not
like trying to do that
where
with
it
my
needs-
knees right now.
Yeah. Like they measure, like they,
Oh.
they compare like the left and the right. Like and
Huh.
mine aren't flat. It's kind of hard to describe. Like I almost need to like take a photo of it. But
No,
the one me
I feel like I understand what you mean because I got my legs out right now
because it
like
like
that,
yeah, it won't
and
go
then
straight. It
like
like
your
it
knees
always
are
has
end up
like
like this.
it has like a curve. Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
curved.
but
This
so you're
like
trying to get
sexy
your
ankle.
It's ridiculous.
your legs flat.
Yeah,
There's a
so
lot happening. Oh God, nobody
Oh,
needs to see
man.
that, Michael.
it's
Not
just
even me.
so but when I first started going to PT, it was a lot. Like I couldn't get it down flat like at all. Like it was basically
Oh,
my
okay.
whole leg was like bent.
Always
But
bent. Yeah.
yeah, it was always bent. And now it's just like there's a gap. I can tell.
All right.
When I'm like sitting on the floor doing my like stretches or my strength training and stuff. So I've still been like super consistent with like my 4 days a week, but I was alternating. I was running like Mondays and Wednesdays, and now I'm just Pelotoning every day, which is very
Nice.
nice because I don't have to leave the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's a lot more efficient for me.
I need to get back to Pelotoning more. I did 2 Peloton rides this week, so I was proud of myself for that. And then I started vomiting, so then I stopped doing
Yeesh.
that. And we're going away this weekend. So, but next week my goal is to get on that Peloton at least 3 days a week. So maybe that's part of the goal getters, but that's
Yeah.
my goal is to Peloton more because I will say the one thing I learned from New York is that while it was better than I expected, I think that if I had just more cardio, I think that I
Yeah.
could have run for longer because I actually did pretty well, even go like trotting even into the later miles. It was more just the cardio that like I would run for like 90 seconds and be or not be able to like towards the end I couldn't get to the 90 seconds anymore because I think my cardio was just so
Not there.
not
Yeah.
there because I've done so much walking. So the Peloton will be my goal coming out of. So I'm running to Peloton. I don't like.
There you
Does
go.
that work? Can I
Yeah.
also? I'm gonna in the end
Yeah.
also use that because
And this is everyone's reminder that it's getting cold out and it's dark and sad. So get on your Peloton and then you don't have to be outside.
yeah.
That's my problem. So I'm also. I guess I'll run for Pelotoning too because
There you go.
by the time I get home now, it's like dark in 5 minutes.
It's true.
So I
Yeah.
either hop on the Peloton or this is the time of year where I start doing my uphill treadmill runs.
Yeah.
Where I set it on like 10% and just either walk or run uphill for an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
Nicole texted me today and she sent me a picture of her on the Peloton, and I forget how long she said it'd been. She's like, I think it's been like 3 months since I've been on the Peloton.
It-
I was like, your poor butt. Like I'm so sorry.
Well, that
Apologies.
was
yeah.
my problem. Was that when I got on, I was like, oh my God, I have not been on this in far too long, and this is going to hurt my butt
Yeah.
a lot.
That taint, I'll tell you.
Taint.
Mine's all primed. I'm all good.
He's
Yeah.
he's always
Of
ready.
Of course it is. So I am not running for the Peloton. I'm running for 5 a.m. wake up calls.
You
Oh, well, I get up at 5 a.m. already, so it doesn't. I'm not getting up earlier.
Well, it's really like 4:35 a.m. because like I've actually, and I'm just going to hope to continue this. Like I've been able to get up and go run or go work out that early.
Yep.
And I love getting it done in the morning because I have no motivation when I get off work.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's kind of nice that I'm cautiously optimistic that I've been able to do that a couple times in a row, and I just need to keep stringing that together to make it a habit because this is like, early in my training cycle for Donna, and I'm just really focused on making sure that I don't skip them and that I do them, and
Yeah.
getting up is half the battle. Like I used to
Yeah.
be able to get up and be like really good in the morning, but that's harder and harder as you get older.
For sure.
So I'm just like I got up today at 4:30, was in our little fitness center at 5, did miles on the treadmill, did some free weights and some squats and stuff like that. So
Nice.
yeah,
Did you
I mean
go?
I know. I'm super
like,
proud of him.
from where I was with no activity or very, sparse activity to this, like I feel pretty positive.
Yeah.
It was the last time I rode the bike was 9/4, so it had been
That's a
over 2
while ago,
months.
by the way.
So my butt after the set. So I rode on the 10th and the 12th. So Saturday and I don't know, whatever. Either way, the first ride was hard. The second ride was like, 2 days later, it was like, oh my God.
Yep. Yep. It's a
So
lot.
all your accountability buddies out there, accountability buddies, hit me up.
I have a what?
It smells so strong. That is the strongest smelling whiskey.
So I have a challenge for our listeners. If we get 5 5-star reviews before we record on December 16th, I will do a 100-mile Peloton ride.
Yes.
The week of Christmas.
Hallelujah.
Between Christmas and New Year's.
Wait, a single ride?
Why?
A single ride.
Oh, I love it.
Who are you? Matt Algier?
Who are you,
on
me?
your Century? Oh, yeah, or Tom.
I would do a 100-mile ride one day.
This is
on
such
Peloton.
a good segue into our main topic.
All right, hey everyone. I'm just breaking in here. We are sitting in a cabana down in Florida, and I wanted to clarify that you're going to need to send us those reviews either via email at willrunforpodcast@gmail.com, or you can just DM us on Instagram and let us know about it, because the service we use that shows us all the reviews is going away before then. So just for our purposes of being able to find them easy and forcing me to do something stupid that I came up with spur of the moment, you have to send them to us like that in some way, either email, DM us, whatever, just let us know. Thanks.
Oh my God, I don't even know why. Yeah, this is the impulsiveness of.
Do it.
But we need 5 new ones.
So they
5 new
can't be
ones.
like
Can't be a
they
re-up.
can't be like
5 new.
Melissa Harrell, who refreshes hers every once in a while. Okay.
Keep doing that, Melissa.
Which
It'll
we do.
depend.
We do appreciate it.
We'll see how many there are, and then I'll make a call on that.
Okay.
5 new 5-star reviews with comment, and Michael gets on the bike for 100
I'm leaving the
miles.
house
and we
when
have
this happens.
live footage of his taint? Like, what's it gonna be?
Can we have a taint tracker?
a taint tracker?
We can go live and measure things in taint.
I mean, he's got to commit to an outdoor century in July with me and Matt Allgaier, so he might as well just start trying on the Peloton.
Actually, I feel like a century ride probably isn't that hard.
Damn.
Wow.
Well, no. I mean,
rude to all the people who've done a century ride.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not difficult. It is, of course, difficult. But I did like a 35-mile ride out of nowhere outside, and it was not really. It wasn't like a huge thing.
Well, because you've been on the bike.
Yeah.
So to say
that's what I mean. If I'm
okay.
consistently
I'm just
riding,
saying,
not like out
the
of
way
nowhere.
that you said that made it seem like riding 100 miles
No.
is like an easy task.
I'm talking if you properly train.
You're
for it, is what I'm
basically
saying.
making everyone who's done a century ride
No.
feel like they don't work hard.
Not what
Well,
I'm
they
saying.
should
I'll
because
say.
only their legs are moving.
I'll
apparently.
say
That's
it
true.
seems easy.
Also,
I mean,
I've been doing it so leisurely on this damn Peloton because I'm trying to protect my knee and not go crazy. I'll be on for 30 minutes. It'll be 6 miles. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I used to get 8 miles.
8 miles. Yeah, I used to
9
average
miles.
between 8 to 9 miles, and now I'm about where you are. So it's
Yeah.
fine. It's all fine.
100 miles in the Peloton is something.
I don't know why you just whatever. It's fine. Let's move on to the impulsiveness of runners.
wait, before we do, can I give a little race recap?
Oh yeah, we got to do the recap.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
You're not
I was
reading
kidding.
our show notes.
I'm not reading our show notes either. Do we not
Oh,
have
yeah,
goal
please.
getters in just the impulsiveness of runners? What are we
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah, we
I
skipped
did
the goal
no
getters.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we skipped the goal getters.
And as per usual, Diana's just catching up.
It's fine. But I just wanted to give an update. So the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Run was this past weekend.
Yep. How did
And
that go?
it was good. It was actually really good weather. It was mid to low 50s, clear.
yeah.
It wasn't windy.
Oh, really?
The logistics of that race are still kind of terrible.
Yeah.
You got to go park at either a fairground or a community college, and then they'll bus you to the start. The buses sometimes get lost, even though it's one road.
Yeah, it's not like a lot of options.
No, it's not a lot of options. And the buses sometimes are late. They turn down different roads.
Apparently, there was like Disney level bus drama this year. I
Was
mean, there
there?
always is, but this
Yeah.
year it was supposed to be bad. What Tom said.
We didn't like our bus. Luckily, did not experience that, but I definitely heard of others. It's a pretty big race. I don't know exactly how many people, but there's a sea of people on that bridge. I did it with my brother, and he had recently hurt his ankle. So our plan was to walk the entire thing in general. So we walked about a 19-minute mile, which is not fast, but we maintained that pace, and we just chit-chatted, and it was I think it was a very pleasant time. Our friends Ryan and Nicole ran it. We saw them. Our friends Ken and Carol did it. Jen Hall did it.
Yeah, I saw Jay Hall out there.
A bunch of
Yeah,
Rise
she tagged me. She's like, I'm doing Diana's favorite run on Saturday. Or
Yeah.
Sunday.
And actually a bunch of Rise and runners were like checking
wow.
in from it and doing like race reports on their Facebook.
Oh, we should have done a Rise and Run
We
meetup
could have done a
presented
meetup
by
for
Will
them.
Run
Yeah,
For.
We could have done a meetup, yeah.
on the bridge for them.
But yeah, I mean, I know the logistics are kind of obnoxious, but it is a unique race. I mean, it's a bridge race, and it's the most dangerous bridge in the country based on certain Google searches.
Are there a lot of ghosts on the bridge?
There was a lot of ghosts, constant construction. It's a cupless race, you know.
Oh, yeah, I saw our old race cups were out
Yes,
there.
yes.
With, Nicole and Ryan.
Yeah, they were repping that. And again, we didn't really hang out afterwards. It's a really nice after party. Like there's all kinds of beer and there's food and there's bands and all that stuff. And
They do give you like really, did they give you really good snacks afterwards? Because I feel like they give like fruit cups and like they have like good like stuff when you cross the finish line.
this time it was just like it was bags of chips.
Mhm.
It was water. There's always like a couple people like trying to give away energy drinks.
Oh,
But
yeah.
then it was like oranges, bananas, and apples.
Oh.
No like
interesting.
fruit cups this time.
Oh, gotcha. I feel like they do like, they usually have like fruit cups and, you know, like the cups of oranges or, you
Who
know, that
does
kind of thing.
this run?
I think it's Corrigan.
I think it's
Okay.
Corrigan.
I
Yeah.
think. Who does the Baltimore Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, not too much more to go on. Again, my brother had recently hurt his ankle, and he really toughed it out, and it was his first 10K. The fitness was definitely there, and I felt good the entire time, which was like, it was a positive because I was like, you know, we're just walking this thing, and I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised at how I didn't feel this race at all.
That is good.
Nice.
That's
Like-
good.
Like at all. So, you know, kind of knocking the dust off, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good
So,
start
yeah.
for Donna training.
yeah.
I would like to just add on real quick because Diana brought up doing a Rise and Run or a Will Run for meetup, or sorry, a Rise and Run meetup sponsored by
Presented by.
presented by Will Run For. Just want Rise and Run to know that I will absolutely be showing up to their marathon weekend meetup with a with a Will Run For flag.
With a Will Run For flag and on the run stickers to give to people.
Yes. and my on-run shirt.
Yep, just gonna tell you it's gonna happen. Also, Doug sent me a message that said that when he was listening to our last episode, he's laughing so hard he deserves the trolling.
Oh.
He says he'll make it up to you if 3 members of Rise and Run podcast run NYC next year. I will host a Will Run For meetup.
Oh, there you go.
And then he said an hour and 15 in and that you guys are still trolling me. I love it.
Oh.
I said it never ends. Just ask Greg. And he said he's flattered, to be honest. I love you guys in the podcast, and I'm honored to be a character in your story. And I thought that was super
amazing.
adorable. And you saying that reminded me that I'd gotten that message from Doug.
Oh, that's
And I
funny.
really wanted to give him that
That's so
shout
fun.
out.
Yeah.
That's so
Because
fun.
we
I love that.
appreciate when people love the trolling and don't take it too seriously and
Yeah.
understand that it comes from a place of hatred and
No.
Hatred.
No. It always makes me feel awkward.
Oh,
What, when we troll
man.
people?
Like, for the amount of trash I talk in general, like, I just always feel awkward when we're trolling people because we sometimes take it a little too far.
What? Do we?
Oh, we do. But you know
Oh.
what? We're all friends. We love everyone in this community.
Doug is a character in our story. So,
I
I
love
mean,
that.
he feels the honor.
Yes, he should.
I still say we need to make plastic cheese is not nachos like shirts for a Run Disney race.
We should. You know what would be the ultimate
Springtime surprise.
It would be the
yeah.
ultimate trolling though, Aaron. And let's just pause this. If you could get a plastic cheese is not nachos shirt made and get them into the hands of Ryzen runners and have
Oh
them
my God.
wear that to their meetup.
Oh,
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Let's
With Bull Run
grassroots
Bar on the
let's
back.
grassroots this thing.
Oh my God. That would be hilarious.
Oh,
All right. I'm going to
man.
workshop this.
I'm just saying. Okay. So let's get into our topic.
Yeah. You impulsively came up with this impulsive topic.
So
Yeah,
I
this
thought
was your
about
idea.
this. I thought about this, like, because in my head, I'm kind of obsessed with this idea of the New York City Marathon. And the idea is, like, specific to runners or people that compete in these kind of events. I'm pretty sure I will run the New York City Marathon next year.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know how I'm going to get in. I have an idea. I don't know where I'm staying. I don't know physically how I'm going to prepare. I'm not even concerned with the cost because if I do Fred's team, it's like $3,500 in charity, and then I got to get some sort of hotel. I'm not going to stay with my friend Chris in Brooklyn because I would like to stay at the hotel you guys stayed in. I'm in like $5,000.
You should also like book that hotel ASAP.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is like I've made it up in my head that I'm going to do this without regard for any of the details. And then
People are like, I don't understand why you're so mean to Tom sometimes. Like,
well, be nice. Hold on. I'm just trying to build the idea because like, you know how we'll be like reading Goal Getters or something and someone's like, I did the Mojave Desert 500 miler. And then Michael will look it up and register for it. You know, like we make these decisions very quickly, very
This is true.
abruptly,
This is
rash
true.
decisions.
you mean like how he said he's going to ride 100 miles
On a
and
Peloton.
ruin
Exactly.
an entire day of our
Exactly.
lives because he's got to be on the Peloton for like 6 hours?
well,
You mean like that?
Tom also went through a thing after we watched Brittany Runs a Marathon where he's like, I'm going to register for New York. And I was like, it's really
That's
hard
not
to
how
get
you do
into.
that.
And he was like, what? And it was like, that was a plot point in the movie, how it's hard to get into. Like, did you miss it?
I missed that plot point.
God.
But yeah, like, so I just think that there's something to be said for like making these quick decisions. And it doesn't have to be just like registering for a race. It could be like, you know, you registered for a 5K 6 months ago. You wake up the morning of, you're like, I'm not going to do this.
I feel like the 55 miler I did was a completely
That was impulsive.
That
yeah.
was completely impulsive because I was running a lot of miles. I was doing a lot of your training runs.
Yep.
And so then I was like 3 weeks before, I was like, let's run 55 miles. What could go wrong? And I ran 55 miles and I won the race.
Yep.
So, you know,
Well,
sometimes
that's
it
a
works
success
out.
story.
Yeah, that was one where it actually worked out well. Let's see. I was impulsive. I guess my first marathon was mildly impulsive. I started running in December 15 and ran my first half in the fall of 16. And it was like, oh, I should do a marathon next. And Disney was still open, so I ran Disney in 17. So January, so whatever it was, 3 months later. But I feel like that was super
That's
impulsive.
pretty impulsive though, because a normal training plan is more than 3 months long, and you didn't have anywhere near that to prepare
Yeah.
Yeah.
by that time.
Yeah. I
So
guess it
that's
was
pretty
impulsive.
impulsive.
My first 50K, was
Baltimore, right?
no, technically the first one I tried was
Oh,
up
was
in
that
New
Feb Apple
Jersey.
one?
Yeah, it was Mayapple, but it was
Oh,
like 50
Mayapple.
degrees and rained all day. So the first one I wanted to do my first Batona before, this was before Vanessa ran the race. But back then you had to have run a 50K prior to running it somewhere. So I literally signed up for the Patapsco 50K, which thankfully got moved off that trail onto the loop around BWI because I would have never survived the trail at that point in my life. And I ran it in like 6 hours, but then had to run Batona the next weekend, which was like 34 miles at that point. So I had to do back-to-back 50Ks for my first 50K.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Because I had to have that race done to get into the Batona race at that point. You had to have a qualifier to get in at that point. So that was probably mildly impulsive.
That feels impulsive. I've probably done a lot more impulsive things. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
No, and Tom probably has some for me that like I can't remember, but I don't typically do that. I also don't verbalize a lot. Like I might have like an impulsive or even like an intrusive thought where I'll be like, I'm gonna run New York, but I don't like immediately start telling people I'm going to do it. Like I think about it for a while and then I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I don't typically do that often. I do know when I signed up for my first dopey, no, because I mean I had a plan for that. I had never really thought I was going to do it. And I remember being on the course in Paris and like talking to someone at the like Ren Disneyland Paris half marathon, and she was kind of struggling, and I was chit-chatting with her, and she said that she had done dopey, and I kind of thought, well, if she could have gotten through dopey, like it might be something I can do. And I started to like think about it a lot, and then I think I like verbalized it sometime when we were still in France, so it might have like seemed impulsive, but I had been thinking about it for a little while. And then I still had like a couple of months to decide because registration had opened. There was one time with like a Run Disney race where I wasn't going to do it. And I was texting with my enablers, Nikki and Nicole. And I said, well, I'm not going to like get in the queue early. Like if I log on and it's like not a problem, then I'm going to register. And it was like 2017. And I logged in at like 10:03 or something. And I was able to get in.
Yeah, that was back when they weren't selling out right away.
Yeah, like they were in their little lull or whatever it was.
Yeah,
so.
back then you could get in.
Yeah, I mean, well, they had like a boom in like
slow down.
14, 15, 16, that time. And then in 17, 18, 19 is when they like started slowing down. And then the pandemic happened, and then everybody wanted to get into them again.
Yeah, now they're like crazy again. But like that's the only, I mean, Tom, do you remember like me like
No. I think
signing up
I think given the four of us, you're the least impulsive person.
I mean, not with like some of my behavior, but like with my decisions like that.
running decisions.
Like running my mouth is a different situation.
Well,
running decisions is I'm not very impulsive.
I think you're more calculated, and I think you're like, well, if I do this, because it's also like the money thing, right? And the travel
I always think about the
thing
money and
the
the
time.
travel
Well, also the
immediately.
time off thing.
Yeah, that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like all these are considerations. One of the biggest points of contention in our household is when I'm like, I haven't been training at all. I'm going to run 5 5Ks in 5 consecutive days. And then Diana's, she flips over the table. She's like, would you stop doing this?
Yeah, I just like, you're not setting yourself up for success. And then I feel like I'm being mean. And I wouldn't be mean if it wasn't like the 20th time he did it. Like,
I do this a lot.
I had a lot more patience for it at the beginning than I do now. And everyone's like, Tom's so jolly and nice. Like, I don't know why Diana's mean.
He's
Tom
the
is the most impulsive of the four of us, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say that...
I'll say we are the most ridiculously impulsive, though.
Yeah.
Are we?
Well, like, we came up with the run to the shore, like, out of nowhere.
I remember that.
And it was 100 degrees out. We were
Okay, I would like to say, for the record...
plan for that, though.
I would like to say, for the record, though, I am less impulsive than Michael. He comes up with these wacky ideas, and
Love
then I
it.
end up going
Then you're
along with
convinced.
them.
Or
that is
let's
more-
do rim to rim to rim.
Yeah, that
in
is-
June.
That is much more of a Michael impulse. And then I go, can we really do that? And then he's like, sure, if we do this, this, and this. And I'm like, I guess. And the next thing I know, we're doing whatever he's had the impulse to do.
I mean, I've been impulsive in the middle of runs and called you and been like, "Oh, I was gonna run like
That's true.
10
He
miles."
blows up my Saturday by saying, hey, by the way, I was going to run an out and back, but now I've run 17 miles and I can't get back to my car. So you're going to have to come pick me up.
Oh my
or
God.
I'm like, I was gonna run like 15 miles, but I'm gonna run 30 something instead and pick me up at the other place.
Oh my God. What is happening right now?
Indy.
Indy's got a napkin or something.
Oh no. Don't chew on a napkin.
And I don't know that this is impulsive, but when you guys did rim to rim and had no exit plan on the other side of the Grand Canyon, I don't know that that's impulsive. That just might not be a complete planning session.
That was, I don't understand how it was. What if we get to the other side and we don't have enough energy to go back? Like, I don't know how that, when you missed that conversation. Like, that wasn't even an option. And all, because you guys had a plan for, like, if I get this far, this is what we're going to have to do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why there wasn't a plan. Like, I got to the other side. It's
don't
too
know
far
either.
to go back.
I mean, looking back, we probably should have researched that part a little more.
Yeah, whatever.
But we got the hitchhike instead.
I'm
And that was
gonna-
more fun.
And you got the story.
Yeah, so we've done some impulsive things on the show and things like that. Most of ours have been running adventures more than races.
Yeah, I think that, well, during 2020, there was nothing else to do but go adventure. And we were in a very different place physically at that point. So we were able to go pick up a 20-mile run on a trail
Or like
at the drop of a hat.
we were like,
because-
oh, let's go do the 5 peaks up in New York.
oh,
Yeah, you guys were
That
running
was a
so
fun
much
one.
during COVID. Like,
Yeah.
every weekend you were up in the mountains and
Yeah.
doing stuff.
I almost
so-
forget that time existed.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I'm whiskeying her
Oh
out.
my God, it's so strong.
What kind
Yeah.
of whiskey is that?
That's one Algeier got me.
Ooh.
It's like a honey something.
No, I think
whiskey.
it's just a straight one.
Oh, is this
Now-
one just the straight one?
Yeah.
There are times like where I've been like out with the girls or something like that, and we start like spitballing ideas and like
Yeah.
planning. So it could, I think it like that's the
But
kind of
that's-
like impulsive thing. But it kind of like we start throwing it around, and then
And
a
then
lot
you
of times
have
like we
a
don't commit.
conversation
Yeah, yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like Tom's more the person who's like, you know what? If we get 100 people signing up for this, I'm going to do this really stupid thing immediately after. That's Tom.
And he communicates it like immediately.
Yes.
Speak it into existence.
Like
That's
where,
it.
like I said, like I don't know, and I don't think it's like don't want to let somebody down or something, but I don't know. I lose interest almost immediately with things, so I don't want to be like I'm going to do this, and then like 2 weeks later be like I'm not into that anymore.
Well, that's the ADHD thing.
Yeah.
The part that's actually surprising is that you do have ADHD, and it's usually the dopamine hits that people are looking for. And you actually like reason with the dopamine before you make the final decision. So that's actually pretty impressive that you're able to do
Because I spent
that.
so much time masking, where I think a lot of times, like when I was younger, I was a lot more impulsive, and I just decide to do things, or
Yeah.
like I ended up like, I don't know, over 90 minutes away from the house one night doing karaoke with like no way to get home when I was like in my 20s. Like that kind of stuff would happen.
Yeah.
But not so much. But yeah, like it'll be like, oh, the girls were out and we were talking about X. We're still gonna like check dates and stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
or
that's
we'll
not-
say
that's not that
maybe it's
yeah.
like, sometimes like if we're looking at dates and we're like, oh, we might be able to do it this year, but a lot of times it'll be like, well, let's plan for this in 2026 or whatever.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's not
I
like
feel like
super.
me
That's
signing
just kind
up
of more.
for New York City and Dopey this year were semi-impulsive.
That was pretty
though.
impulsive,
Because
but
that was like the conversation where I had thought it in my head and thought, when I bring this up to Michael, he's going to be like, we can't do that. You have no idea where you're going to be. And then when I brought it up, he's like, well, just sign up for both. Because I was like, well, which one should I do if I'm going to sign up for one? And he was like, sign up for both. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So then I signed up because I had to make a decision. Like at the time that I thought it even crossed my mind, I saw that the lottery was out. I knew that I could claim my spot. I knew that I could probably get into Fred's team, and I knew Dopey registration was in the next week. So both of those decisions had to be made very quickly,
immediately.
and they're both very expensive things. So I was like, well, I don't know if we can do both. I don't know if I can afford both. And he was like, why not? I mean, we don't know where we're going to be in a year. We have no idea what's going to happen. This will give you something to do and give you motivation. And I was not expecting that answer from him. So I was just sort of like, oh, well, you took my impulse and one-upped me.
He's raising you up. I feel like I'm popping bubbles.
All the time.
It's
no, I make it worse.
You make it worse.
He's like, well, if you're going to do that.
Not.
If you're going to take this step, you may as well take the other 5.
Because that's what he was like. He was like, well, if you're going to do New York, you might as well do Dopey because you're going to be trained to the marathon. So you might as well just keep going. And I was like, this is not the conversation I was expecting us to be having.
Well, I impulsively, I put myself in for the lottery in Chicago, but I kind of knew I wasn't going to get in. So
did you do it for this year?
I did it, for this past year for September. So whenever and everybody was doing it, and I think I did it on the very last day it was open, where I was like, I might as well just throw.
Did you do it for this year coming up though?
No,
you still have 5 more days.
No, I'm gonna try and get my knee fixed next year. So.
Oh yeah.
But I put my name in for Chicago. Mm-hmm. I do impulsive things without telling people I do them sometimes.
Yeah,
I do this actually, because then I think to myself, well, if I don't tell anyone and then I don't do it, it's not that big a deal.
That's kind of how I am.
Because I did something impulsive very recently that I haven't told anyone about yet, except for Matt Allgaier, because he happened to do the same impulsive thing as I did and sent me a screenshot of it. And so I'm admitting this on the podcast. Michael might murder me. I don't know. I signed up for the Marine Corps 50th anniversary.
Oh.
You know who else did?
Telling him. You?
No. God, no.
Oh, Megan Avis.
Megan Avis.
Oh, yeah. Our retired marathoner. Yes.
Yeah. Well, have fun. I am not running a big race.
You don't have to run it with me, but
I'll go down and cheer though.
Take the train and cheer for me again.
Yeah, for sure. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's all. But I did that impulsively. I'm admitting that I did that. It was the last day that I could get in for Runners Club because I have Runners Club. And so I don't have to enter a lottery or anything. I have automatic entry. And it was the last day and I saw the email. I was like, fuck, if I don't do this now, then I'm going to forget about it. And then I'm not going to be able to get in. And then next year I'm going to be mad about it. So I'm like, F it, and I just clicked the button. Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Yep, there it is.
Talking about impulse.
Well, and
I don't know if I'm going to do it. I spent the money, but I don't know. That'll be next year. That'll be a 2025 problem.
That's a later problem.
Yeah, that's not anything to worry about.
Tom has selective memory and not great follow through. So there was a point you were going to do MCM 50 and you haven't talked about it at all. And all of a sudden you started talking about New York. And so I just stopped talking about Marine Corps because you've forgotten about it. Because remember, didn't he announce it on the podcast if something happened?
He said
you were going to run it with Megan.
If Megan signed up, he said that he would sign up for the Marine Corps 50th.
Guys.
I
don't even remember that happening.
See?
Oh my God.
Although now that you say it, that absolutely happened.
Because at that point, she had not committed to Dopey for this coming year. And she had said that she retired. And we're like, yeah, right. And you said that if she came out of retirement for a race, that you would do the race
Marine Corps with her.
No, I can't because I'm fully committed to doing New York.
And Marine Corps next year is on the same weekend as Wine and Dine because they moved Wine and Dine up a weekend.
Yeah, that's
And
weird.
next year we were like, cool. Now that I've done New York, maybe we'll do our first Wine and Dine because we've never done Wine and Dine before.
Wine and
And then
Dine's
they
so
moved
fun.
it. And now I'm mad that they moved it. Anyway, we should probably move into some feedback from the listeners because there's a lot of it.
Oh, is there?
So I was pleasantly surprised because we put this out just to say, hey, give us your examples of times you may have acted impulsively. I'll tell you what's an impulse.
Watching Michael's ass and junk wiggle in your face.
Oh,
You
I'll
could
tell ya.
actually tell his butt is muscular. You can tell through his shorts.
Yeah. I could bounce a quarter
You
off
can
that.
tell. You can tell he's a runner.
Junk in the trunk.
Oh
So, yeah.
God.
So we
By
asked.
the way,
Okay.
can I just sidebar
That's
now
fine.
that Michael showed his butt? When you were in New York, I was chatting with Erin on the side. I was side texting her. And I sent her a view of the dog, and she was like, "This is my view," and it was Tom's butt, and both of us at the same time sent Tom doesn't have an ass to each other. It's completely flat, his butt just goes from his back to his legs.
I
There's
literally,
no-
as she sent me the view, I happened to look immediately over. I was like, oh, Tom's ass is in my face. So I took a picture of it. And it's just his jeans, caved in.
Okay.
Are you saying we better leave this in? This stays in.
He has no ass.
I feel attacked.
No ass at all. God.
Oh, God. All right. Let's move into feedback. Tom, you were pleasantly surprised is what you were saying.
I was pleasantly surprised because I think this topic did resonate with folks, because there was a lot of quick decisions being made out there. So, do we want to kind of do the alphabetical situation?
Yeah, round robin. All right. So our friend Doug. My first half marathon, which became my entry into distance running, was completely on impulse. I saw someone with a Brooklyn half t-shirt and thought, huh, that's cool. By coincidence, the next day I bumped into a friend who worked for a nonprofit I support who asked me if I wanted to join their running team and fundraise. I said yes. Had never run more than 7 miles before that. About 6 weeks later, I crossed my finish line with my first half, and the rest was history.
Perfect.
Wow.
There you go.
7.
That's a great
yeah.
story.
Especially with it only being 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That
I
is-
do see people in comment sections, especially because New York just happened, that people don't even realize when you register for, people pay to register for the New York Marathon. There were people in the comment section of some New York Marathon videos where non-runners didn't understand people register and pay, and these events are hard to get into.
Yeah.
So to go from nothing, never run a race before, to be I'm just going to do this half.
Stephanie Donahue says, I'm one of those last minute people who didn't want to sign up for a summer race, but then last minute I'll sign up for the water stop.
Oh.
I would rather hand out water in the heat and humidity, even the rain, but run it. I'll save that for a Disney race.
Oh, yeah.
We have David Dushkin. Hey, Well Run For friends. Great topic for the show. My impulse story is my wife went out of town to visit parents. I was bored and went to a team and training info meeting. I thought I would waste 30 minutes, get some free snacks, and maybe see if they had a short bike ride or something. Walked in, met a gentleman named Mike, and 5 minutes later I paid $50 and registered for the Disney Marathon. 296 pounds and couldn't run a block. I love it.
I
That's
love
great.
that.
I love it. It's the way to do it.
Man,
The best.
that
That's
really
the way to
is.
do it.
About as impulsive as
Run
you
a block. I remember I had a panic attack before I ran my first 5K where I'm I'm not going to be able to do this.
Oh, God.
Oh God. Our friend Bill Stewart, signed up for my first Run Disney race, first more than a 5K race. It was the half at Marathon Weekend 2020. After watching the jar Oxenspoon YouTube video on dopey training for slackers. Awesome. Back then, the half was either still open or opened up randomly in the fall for registration. I started training after I signed up, having no idea if I could really finish a half marathon. Been hooked ever since and about to run my 50th Run Disney race at the marathon.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that is awesome.
And he found this great pod to listen to.
Aw, so sweet.
We love you, Bill. That's wild.
That is.
That is great.
50th Run Disney. You know, Dana and I were actually talking about this today because this marathon weekend is going to be her 30th. And I was like, I don't think I'm anywhere near that. I went back and counted today. I will be running my 25th race at the half marathon of Dopey.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
For a Run
impressive.
Disney.
Well,
actually
Dana did a
don't know.
perfect season too. And how many races are in
That's
a
a lot.
perfect season?
Yeah,
it's a lot,
that's a
right?
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never really have done challenges outside of Goofy until Springtime Surprise. So that's part of the reason why I have never really gotten up my Run Disney numbers up. Even though I've been at a lot of Run Disney weekends, I don't always run them.
Yeah.
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 Lisa Taylor. After listening to the New York City Marathon recap, I was ready to sign up. There you go, Tom, and do it next year with Tom. But then I decided, with my husband's help, that I could not afford it.
Amen.
That happens. Yes.
I need a race genie to grant me all the free race entries, incling travel costs.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
It is
for
an
sure.
expensive.
It
That's
is.
actually exactly
Yeah.
what Tom just said a little while ago. In his head, he's running this race with no thoughts about the rest of it.
I don't know. I feel like the cost of something. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not frugal. I'm obviously not.
I'm not frugal either because
I'm not
I
frugal either.
literally
But whenever
literally
I start
signed up.
thinking about a trip like that, like that's where my mind immediately goes. Is like, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah. Because it all adds up so
I mean,
fast.
I'm not
yeah.
frugal either because I obviously just signed up for Marine Corps without any thought of whether or not I'm actually going to run it next year, but wanting to make sure that I'm in it in case I do want to run it. But yes, that means that I have to stay down in DC, which is never cheap, or Virginia, never cheap. New York, we got lucky. I had tons of Hilton points, so I used Hilton points. But yeah, I mean, it's not cheap to go to New York and do the New York City Marathon. And then you factor in
And the
all the meals that you have
food
to eat.
Yeah.
And the merch.
And the
Oh yeah,
merch
I
and,
dropped a pretty
all
penny
that.
on merch.
Who was I just saying? There was somebody that was just posting a ton of stuff, and I was like, I'm convinced they're independently wealthy. Like that's the only thing. Oh, it was Ryan Runs Disney. I was like, what does he do for a living? I thought he was a teacher. I have no idea what he does.
Ryan, why don't you tell us what you do?
Yeah, there you go. He's
Yeah.
like Chandler Bing. We don't know what he does.
We don't know what he does.
Your friend Sean Ferry says, you ever in your first marathon decide at the last minute to go with the pace group, even though that's not how you ever trained? Stop to use a porta-john, and then when you're done, push to catch up to the pace group, blowing up all your plans and pacing?
That's always a good one. Yeah, yep.
That is a long question there, Sean.
Nope, that's a good one.
I
Impulsive in the
mean-
race is a thing.
You're like, I'm just going to join this group.
Woo! Baltimore Marathon 2008. Did you also at the same time pick up a random pace out of the air, miss your target pace by 4 seconds a mile, and get angry, disappointed with yourself when the marathon was over? You ever go out on a trail run, look at the map on your phone, questioning accuracy, and say, we turn here and we could be adding something like a quarter mile and 4 to 6 miles to this route. F it. Spoiler. It was about 5 miles planned to a 3 to 4 mile run.
Oh, yeah.
My
See,
God. That's you.
That's
Yeah,
us.
that's
Well,
us.
Also, we've done it where we haven't even looked at the map and we've been like, let's just turn here and see what happens.
Yeah, we went down this really long path on the Batona area, like the Wharton State Forest area, where we got down and we're like, this is kind of a sketchy trail. And he's like, it looks like maybe it's cleared up there. So we kept going. And then we ended up in some marsh and some swamp. And I'm like, I don't think that we can get through this.
And we had
we
to
were
turn
like, we had
around.
to turn all the way back around and go all the way back down. And so I think it added a total of like 6 miles to our entire
Yeah.
run because we had already gone 3 miles out and there was no way back
Yeah.
because we thought that we were going to be able
We
to
ended
get
up
through.
in the middle of a swamp.
And so we had to turn all the way back.
Well, that was like when we just followed the railroad tracks one time, which
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
even a trail.
Yeah, that was my birthday, actually.
Yeah. Wasn't
Oh
even
my
a
God.
trail. We just
That
went
was
off trail in the
when
middle
we
of
had
the woods.
to climb over the railroad tracks.
Yes, we had
Like I had to get onto like all fours and like pull myself across
Oh
a single
my
rail
God.
because the railroad track used to be
Everything
on
was
ground
washed out
had
under it.
washed out, so underneath it was just water.
And it was
so
a
the
single
only-
rail
And
crossing.
I was not sturdy enough to feel like I could like walk across it as though it was a balance beam. So I had to like get on my butt and shimmy my way across.
Oh my.
A like 4-inch train
I
rail.
have a video of it.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I'll have to send that to
We got Nancy, a couple of DNSs because who wants to race in the pouring rain?
Amen.
I used to say race no matter what, but the older I get, the less I have to prove. This is true. As for impulsive registrations, is there any other way to register? Do people really think about it first? No, that's true. Thank you,
I
Nancy.
love it.
Yeah.
I'm also a big, like, if it looks like it's going to be miserable, I'm totally okay saying we're not going to do it. A lot of times there's like
Totally.
a cost, like depending on like how much I paid for it, like has
Yeah.
something to do. But if it's just like a 5K, like there was a point in time where I registered for this like Christmas run that's like about an hour away from us every year. And I didn't do it for like 3 years in a row because I woke up and it was like cold or rainy or miserable. And I was
Yep.
like, I'm just not doing it.
All right, Run Eat Drink podcast. Do you think this is Dana or Amy?
Amy.
Mhm.
All right, so Amy says, "Oh, what a great question. Yes, I registered for a trail run on an Impulse, and it turned out to be a great thing because I met some great people at that race. Taught myself that I could do hard things that I've never done before, like a trail run 10K, and discovered how training runs can be turned into weekends of fun with running friends."
Listen
See?
to
Love
just
it.
run, eat,
That was
drink,
just
just
so much
always being
positivity,
positive,
right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, I
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
So the opposite of the will run for a pot. No.
That's me. Yep. Allison says, after a successful long run, I impulsively added myself to the Berlin Marathon lottery.
See? That's what
Then I
happened.
checked my calendar and I have a conflict on that day. I'm not sure what to do, but I'm praying I don't get chosen. Just now remove yourself from the lottery button.
There is not. Nope. Dana asked me this question today when I was hanging out with her because she did the Chicago one, and she's like, "So what happens if, like, you know, the day comes and your name gets pulled? There's like no undo?" I was like, "No, there's no undo."
Cherry Blossom's the same way because I thought I wasn't going to get in for that one year, and then I did, and I was really annoyed about it. And they just charge your card, and it's game over. But
Yep.
we've been playing with the Berlin Marathon for a little bit now, and we're talking about doing it maybe 2026 is kind of when we're talking about doing it. And Nicole was like, well, like, what if we put our names in and then we get in? Could we, like, just defer for the year we want?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, we can't do that. And I, like, looked it up and you can't. Like, you can't defer.
Oh, you can't defer Berlin?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that's one of the
Like, they
few
were
that
like-
you can't. Because you can defer Chicago, you can defer New York. I know that for sure because I deferred New York.
Yeah.
To this year.
There's, like, specific circumstances where you
Oh.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you have all for the New York Marathon. Just good for you to know, Tom. You can defer all the way to the day before the expo.
Oh, we're in.
Now, if you sign up for charity, you'll still probably be responsible for some of the cost of that. But I think it's a lesser amount if you defer.
The only way you can defer, I'm looking it up now, the only way you can defer Berlin is if you're pregnant and you need a medical certificate. There are some third-party tour operators that may offer
Yeah.
cancellation options.
Yeah,
that-
like a marathon, the travel marathon. I forget what the heck the name of that is. But all right. We have Jen Hall says the worst race ever for me was a 20K out and back race signed up 4 days before.
Good Lord.
I was untrained and combined it with
Why,
wearing the
Jen?
worst possible new gear option outside of shoes. I finished it, but it was a horrible experience for me. Leesburg, Virginia, 20K, now defunct.
Oh,
So that no longer exists, but
Oh my God.
why? That sounds awful.
Like, was somebody doing it with you? Like, sometimes I can understand that kind of thing if you're like peer pressured into something.
yeah.
I'm more likely to be peer pressured into something than make an impulse decision.
That's
I-
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I just think you gotta carry the fitness with you, right? Because like, if someone was like, "Hey, I have a free registration for New York this weekend," I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I
Back
couldn't
when-
physically do that. Like, if you
Yeah.
have the fitness, though, like,
Yeah, back when Michael and I were in our heyday of running, I would say that we could have impulsively picked up a marathon pretty much at any time.
Yeah.
Because I think that I picked up Rehoboth pretty spontaneously, actually. Because a bunch of people were doing it, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. So I decided to do it like the week before I was pacing someone to a 2-hour sub-2 half marathon, like a dummy. And then I PR'd at that race because I had stupid fitness at that point.
Yeah.
Could not do that right now.
Yeah. I do think it is different when you have a maintained level of fitness. So
Yeah.
the impulse, like if it's not like too much of a financial cost and you're like ready to do it, I feel like that's like a different situation.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike what Jen Hall just said, that she was undertrained and then wore the worst possible new gear option. I wonder what that new gear option was. Was it underwear?
I
It's
mean,
always
what
underwear.
could be worse than shoes?
We have Meredith. I woke up to a torrential downpour the morning I was supposed to do the April Fool's half in AC. Hadn't been feeling great the prior week and just said nope. Years ago, I would run in a hurricane if I signed up for a race, but I knew I would be miserable if I went to this race, and it was just not worth it. DNS for me, and I was really proud of my growth.
oh, I love
That's a
that.
good
You know what?
impulsive decision.
That is. And you know what? I think that there's something to be said for that and what Nancy said, right? Like when
Mhm.
you first start running and then you see all these people out there that still run in these races, you're like, oh my God, I guess this is what people do. Because I remember Shamrock Half Marathon, it was a
yeah.
nor'easter and it was like absolutely insane out. And
Mm-hmm.
everyone was still talking about doing it. I was like, oh, this is what we do? We do this still? And so then I went and ran it. And like
Mhm.
now I would be totally like, I could get up and see the rain and be like, nope, not today.
I'm the same way. The first Shamrock I ran, I don't know if it was like the same year you were down there, but it was freezing. It was colder at the end of the race than at the start of the race. It was so windy. All those dunes were blowing like sand on everybody.
Oh, God.
Awful.
If I woke up and the weather was like that today, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
1000%. We're definitely, I will say that all the people who are out there still doing it are people who are newer runners because everyone else has learned that it's not worth it.
Well, some people are like, I
I
run
know.
in anything.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I was like that at times, but I think now I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Brittany DNS'd that race, that exact Shamrock. But I feel like we drove 3.5 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I think we were probably gonna try it, as part of the
Was
experience.
that 2017?
I
That
don't
was the
even
year
know.
it sleeted and they had like those
Yeah.
shirts that
Yeah.
came out afterwards.
was
That was
terrible.
like, I survived. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those
Yeah,
shirts. Yeah.
All right, our buddy Tony. My brother signed up for his first marathon this summer, so I figured I should run it with him.
Shirtless?
Yep.
Of
So
course.
fresh off an injury, undertrained, I did it.
Shirtless?
Around mile 12, I asked myself, WTF, wrong with me for thinking that this was smart. Cramping hard the final 3 miles was fantastic, but we crossed the finish line side by side, and that became my favorite running memory.
Aw,
Yep,
see,
there
that's
you
a
go.
good impulse.
That's a good
Yes,
one.
very much.
Mhm. Angie began long running just to run with my mom at a half for her marathon training in 2007 and never stopped.
Shelly Kathleen, I signed up for my first half marathon at Disney the day before the race with a charity pip.
I love that.
Okay.
That's perfect. Love it. Love it. Love it.
All right. That's almost as impulsive as it gets the
Yep.
day before.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a great one.
I love that. Mermaid Marathoner watched an inspirational movie and went for a 12-mile run after eating Taco Bell.
Lori, is this Tom?
Is that me?
Is this Tom's like burner account?
That is my burner account.
Oh my god.
All right. Lisa V Pix, who's a new name. First run Disney event, all 3 events. Or first run Disney race, all 3 events. Registration was way too early, and the longest training run before it was a 5K.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It happens.
That's what you do.
Yep. Rachel likes to run. I've definitely decided to DNS a 5K because it was too cold. Amen. Grabbed my shirt and hit the tread instead. Absolutely. I do like how some people are talking about the impulsive decision was a DNS. Like, that's my favorite.
Yeah. I like that there's a mix. Yeah.
For sure. Danielle Ellie says, my 21-year-old ass signed up for the Disneyland half a week before the race during my DCP.
Disney College Program.
There you go. Worked in Frontierland till closing the night before and the day of to be young.
Yes. Time didn't matter when you're a CP.
Yeah,
like you
doesn't
were
matter.
just,
Yeah,
it
when you're
doesn't matter.
At 21, time has no meaning.
It wasn't even, college program. Just in general, at 21, time did not exist. I
Very
remember drinking until all hours of the night and going to open
You'd
the next
still go
morning.
to work.
Yeah, open the
still
next
go to
morning
work.
at Best Buy.
Oh, yeah. I like my roommates at DCP would definitely show up to work drunk the next morning.
Oh, yeah. And somehow we got to work, which was disturbing when I think about that.
I was straight edge, so
I know you were.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was not.
Awesome.
And
Nerd.
if we want to talk about people who need shout outs at this point, it's Mark Avis. Mark Avis needs the shout out because he was right beside me when this happened all the time.
Oh my gosh.
God.
All right, we got road and trail events. Anytime the marketing says the race is guaranteed to sell out, I just sign up right away.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's fair. They get
That's
you.
a good one.
They get you. Yep, they get you.
Yeah.
I love that.
They
That's
also get you at the
hysterical.
expos.
Yeah, with the super cheap sign-ups.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah, I'll do that.
We got a lot of new names on this,
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah.
All right. T Trox 88. I did my first half in 2019 marathon weekend because we were going to be there anyways on a DVC trip.
No.
Wow. There you go.
I mean, you
just
might
do
as well.
it, right?
Hey, hey, just do it. I was actually, because we're going to be in Tampa on Thanksgiving, I was like, we do have a 11 a.m. flight, but I was like, is there time to do a turkey trot? So, here's another one. Laura runs Disney. I DNS'd a race because I was in the porta potty when they started the race.
I love it.
That's a great
That's
one.
amazing.
I love that. She comes out, they're gone. She's like, well, I'm not doing this.
Oh, God. We started a race late because Aaron was in the porta pot, and then we were the last starters.
We actually, for a minute, didn't know which direction to go because the signage wasn't great. And because we didn't go with the entire pack, we're like, shoot, are we supposed to go left or straight?
Because everybody else was already gone.
Oh, my God.
That one stressed me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
That's so funny. I love that.
But we did start, unlike
We did
Laura
start.
runs Disney.
Yeah, we did start.
God, that's funny.
Swan runs far. My life is on impulse.
John.
Yes, John. My life is on impulse, but for races, even though last minute, I do read the course description.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
There you go.
you got something going for you.
Yeah, see?
But between him and Vanessa and the fact that they
my
do
God.
Beast Coast
Yeah.
pacing, when they need a pacer, one of them
Sometimes
will
they
just
hop in.
randomly
Yeah.
just fly out to wherever it is and just decide that they're going to run that weekend.
That's wild. I've never looked at a race course in my entire life. I'm
have.
confessing that right now. I've never once looked at a race course.
I feel like that's much more of a trail thing because you do need to actually kind of have a general idea.
I've never once
For like
looked.
elevation and stuff like that. For road, I don't think it's really all that important, to be honest.
No.
Well, it depends on who, like your fitness level too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I
you're
agree.
a trail runner, so you
Yeah.
can hop onto a Big Sur kind of course
Yeah,
without
yeah.
having really looked at it
Yeah.
as closely as somebody who runs in flat New Jersey and never sees a hill in their life.
True.
Yeah,
true.
I'll monitor if people are saying it's a hilly race or not, but I still won't look. I still won't look
Yeah.
at the course to
Yeah,
know how
yeah.
many hills there are or what I
Yeah.
should be expecting at all.
Victoria Jane. My mom forgot her phone in the porta pot during the WW marathon. I ran back for it. Brain fog.
Oh God,
Yeah.
it's so stressful. You
That
would
is
die.
like, I would have a heart attack.
It's like when I forgot my my bib and
Oh,
I
God,
thought
the
Tom
bib.
I thought Tom was gonna have an anxiety attack.
That was,
He-
I remember that morning very well.
He did.
Wait, what?
No. She said when Tom had to go back.
Yeah.
You're thinking of when you had to go
You
back.
had to
Oh,
go
I was
back.
thinking, no, I remember that one too.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
But I
was gonna
remember
say-
you forgetting it also,
Yes.
yes.
We did it back to back
Yeah,
races. Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it, and then you
Yeah.
did it. It
was
either
like
the
back-to-back
next
years.
day,
Yeah.
or it was like the next race series.
Yes, yeah. No, wait, it was marathon weekend and springtime surprise.
Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah,
God, we're so dumb.
it was amazing.
God.
I think this is me, right?
Yes.
All right, give me all the coffee. Yes, signed up for Frosty Looper because all the loopy content gave me FOMO. Let's see how it
that's
goes.
Amazing. I didn't know you were going to be there.
Oh, that's
Yay!
Oh, I
That's
gotta
amazing.
sign up. Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta
Yes.
sign up. I'll be signing
still-
up tonight.
I'm still waiting for Tom to decide he's going to do that.
He wants the medal.
It
He
is a
wants
great medal.
The medal.
Do you get something for doing both?
Yes,
No.
it's a special
it's
one.
like this
Huge,
big.
yeah.
It's huge. And this year's is different than the previous years,
This
which
is
is
how
why
it
I'm
happens.
going back again because it's a new one and it's got the like skeleton being like super hot and stupid in the summer one and then the cold like skeleton in the winter.
I do. I am.
It's got like the flames behind it and the snowflake on the other side.
I'm very jealous of Tom's medals. I think I might be convinced to do. I'm not doing Frosty because I'm not sitting out there in the cold. Absolutely not.
Well, you
But
couldn't get
I-
it because you have to have done the summer series.
No, but I like his medal, his hot.
Oh
skeleton
yeah.
yeah.
I like that. So I might be convinced to do a relay one year. But
Yeah, and for real, or you
Like
could just do
loopy?
one loop. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is me. Oh, Dawn. Definitely when I signed up for last year for Goofy to run with MSAA with less than 2 month training. Nothing like a Goofy with 2 month
Too
training.
much training. Yeah.
Ooh, we get a fleece hat.
Oh.
You can't see that. A fleece hat that's like
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
nice. Yeah, it's like a fleece baseball cap.
yes. We have Chiquita who says, "Never have I ever."
Wow. No impulsiveness. I love it.
Good for you.
Smart.
On the other end, we have Michelle K.
Who is constantly impulsive.
Constantly.
I signed up for most things on impulse without looking too much into all the pesky details. This has bitten me in the butt a few times.
Or not signed up and showed up at races.
The worst was oh God, yes. The worst was Area 51 Marathon, which was 2 hours away from the Vegas Strip in a bus, and the first 13 miles were uphill.
Oh, God.
Yikes.
That one has always interested in me, but because you're out in the middle of the desert in the dark. But man, it is, yeah, it's not nearby. So we got Eric from On the Runs. I made a decision to run in the Lake Placid Classic Half Marathon at 2 a.m. the morning of the race.
What?
What?
I just ate pizza, had 6 beers, likely PBRs, so it was basically water for hydration, and was in the hot tub partying with my college friends before a wedding. I woke up at the hotel, walked 200 feet to the outdoor Olympic speed skating track there, and proceeded to PR a half marathon. Not bad for
God.
pizza, beers, 3 hours sleep. I was in the middle of Ironman training during the time. I had a long run that day anyways. Why not get a medal too?
Oh,
I agree with that.
My
But
God.
again,
Oh, look how he signed it.
yeah.
Eric with the beautiful shaped head.
But again, he was in the middle of a good training block, so
Yes,
he had the
yeah.
fitness.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeesh.
I feel like those hot tub nights, man.
Oh yeah.
I just sent you the picture of the frosty
Metal hat.
metal.
Hat or
The
metal.
metal.
Oh.
The wooden
Oh, yeah, 'cause they don't-
medallion.
Yeah.
The wooden medallion. If you do the double.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
All right. And then last but certainly not least, Tara Wagner. I signed up for the 2022 Disney Marathon the day the medals were revealed. I did a quick search for marathon training plans, saw one for 20 weeks, counted the weeks 20, and signed up. That was my first marathon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, yep, that's pretty impulsive for sure. We had some good ones. I like there was a mix of
DNSs and
impulsively not going to a race
Yeah.
and impulsively just going.
Yeah. Yeah. I think based on that feedback, I'm more likely to DNS than impulsively sign up for a race.
I think at this point I'm more likely to DNS than sign up for a race.
I don't know. I'm about to sign up for all kinds of New York
I don't know if I agree with that, but that's
No.
fine.
Am I wrong?
Even in my
No,
head.
I think that you still will impulsively sign up for races. Not like maybe not as impulsively as you once did, but I think that like once you've decided that you want to do something, you just do it. You don't like the logistics and everything else are secondary.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
figure
true.
that out later.
Yeah, that's true. We do figure it out.
No, we do. I'm just saying that like I think that you are still impulsive in the way that you sign up for your races. You
Yeah,
just
that's true.
assume you'll figure out all the details later.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
basically
that's true.
do the Michelle K.
Yeah.
The pesky little details don't matter until about a week before.
Figure them out,
Yep.
Figure it out. Okay, we have 2 late entries here. Tom just sent me while I'm editing. We have David Meller. Let's see, basically all of 2023 was a massive impulse for me. After signing up for my first marathon at Disney that year, something snapped, and I decided to say yes to everything. I signed up for another marathon, a 50K, a hike up Mount Whitney, and 3 triathlons. Everything was amazing, but I spent a good portion of the year injured. Yeah, that's quite a huge jump, and that is kind of the risk when we dive deep into these things and push the boundaries. Is definitely injury is something that is a huge risk. And we also have Wendy, our friend Wendy Larson. Well, rather recently, although I won the 24-hour world championship a couple weeks ago, I didn't come anywhere near hitting my distance goal. It was cold overnight, and I spent most of it bitching about the cold and telling Chris he had to tell my coach I was never allowed to sign up for another 24-hour race again. The next morning, I had breakfast with my coach, and I was pissed I hadn't hit the world record, so he suggested I try again in February. 2 hours later, I was registered for another attempt at it in Florida in February. And yep, I've had multiple DNSs, again, usually because it was too cold, and hypothermia is not fun. If it's a race without much on the line, there's just not a reason to put myself in those situations. See? I think we're all pretty in line with that at this point. There's the risk-reward factor. All right, back to the episode.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for sending in your feedback. We really appreciated that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Shout out to everybody who did. Shout out to all the new folks, the new names.
Yeah.
We definitely want to get to know you guys more. I don't know, anything else on this topic before we get into something good? Which none of you have listed anything?
Oh, I have something.
I haven't slept in 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm just more focused on getting to bed at this point.
That's something good. So I'll go first. My something good, because of y'all, and really Diana's fault,
I think it's hilarious.
is the ACOTAR via graphic audio books on Audible. I'm in.
Tom wanted to be included, so he said to listen to ACOTAR.
Yeah.
And now I get memes from him, and it's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm in.
I'm
Yeah.
going to go with a controversial one.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Oh.
The Outer Banks.
Oh.
Again?
People are up in arms about the ending of
Oh.
this season. I'm not going to spoil it,
Oh.
but I was okay with it. I liked it. I'm all in on Outer Banks. John
Once a
B and the gang. I'm down with
Once
the
a
Pogues.
pogue, always a pogue.
Pogues for life.
Oh my
Pogues
God.
for life.
I can't.
It got so ridiculous.
Oh, it's
It
so over the
got
top.
so ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Remember, I kept filming myself for the podcast and posting it on our Instagram feed because I'd get so mad watching it.
Oh,
my
God.
It's way worse now.
Oh,
Diana.
it's so over the top, but I loved it. I didn't care.
Is it like that? What was that old like soap opera from like the 90s? Passions, where it
Oh
was
my
just
God,
like
yeah.
ridiculous stuff
Yes.
all the time.
where the witch with the doll lived in town?
Yes.
It's so ridiculous. The things that happen, especially when JJ starts going like crazy. It's just,
JJ's never made a good decision
oh my God,
at some points in the show.
it's crazy.
Yeah. But it was great. It's
now I'm kind of curious what people didn't like about the end. Oh,
what happened.
okay, what happened?
Yeah, to
okay.
the one character.
Yeah.
Very up
Sorry,
in
I
arms
forgot.
about it. Yeah.
I forgot.
But I not that I liked that happened or whatever, but it worked for me. It was fine. And the show's just fun and silly and ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're not taking it too seriously, which obviously we don't.
No.
Diana, do you have something good?
I was just thinking, all I've been doing is rewatching Hallmark movies, and I haven't watched anything super good to like talk about, new. So I'm just gonna say my something good for this week is Chris Evans has a really bad Christmas movie that's coming out that of course we're seeing tomorrow.
I saw that.
It's gonna be awful. But I don't know if people have seen him on tour for this, but my God.
All right.
Like he is
Here we go.
he's
Something
bad.
good.
He's made me forget about his child bride. Like at this point, he looks so good on this tour. And I'm back in because I was kind of halfway out for a little bit. Now I'm 100% back in because my God, people are posting like Professor America because he's got like this beard and glasses. And yeah, so enjoy that, internet.
No.
Oh God. What were you going to say something, Tom?
Nope.
Oh,
He's like, no,
What
I've
else
heard
have we
this.
what else have we been watching?
We watched Canadian Traders season 2 is so good.
I like how he just went all in on
yeah.
I have never. So yeah, we started Canadian Traders. You can find it if you need a way to find it. Just slide into my DMs and I'll tell you where we got it.
Oh.
Because it is hard to find. You have to go online to find it, but it is fantastic. I have never met a whole bunch. Like, I thought that the people from Australia were really dumb, but man, these Canadians this season are super extra dumb.
Well,
They're like,
my favorite thing is when people are so sure and so
yes,
wrong.
that's what I was just gonna say too.
With no information.
They were like, it is 1,000% this person. They are a traitor. I would bet my life on it. And obviously, as the audience, you're like, you've never been so wrong about anything in your entire life. But cool, let's go all in on that. And then they like rail this person at the they have like these
round
tables
or whatever,
where they have to
Oh, God.
accuse people of like being the traitor. It's just
We might
mayhem.
have to we may have to watch one.
It's
like
good.
when it
I
gets
would
cold
recommend-
and
I
Start
would
with New
recommend-
Zealand.
Well, see, they were good at it. I think that they should actually go the other way and watch how bad some people are.
Oh yeah. The early UK ones are good.
They're
New
all-
Zealand's
those ones
good.
are all on
Australia's
Peacock.
good. Yeah.
Those are
Oh,
all
they're
on
streaming on the
ones-
cock.
Please don't say
Yes,
Yep.
they're streaming on the cock.
Please
The
don't
Tom gets so
Canadians,
mad when I say it.
the Canadian one, however, needs
Season
to be,
2 is not
needs
yet.
to be
yeah.
found elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, maybe when it's like miserable in February and there's no
Man,
good
it's-
television
Yeah,
and I
because
just want to, yeah.
it's like they're just so dumb, and you get to like be like, oh my God, these people are so dumb.
Well, and also, I don't think they know the rules of the game when they're making these claims either. They're like, I think the traders are sabotaging.
Yeah, they don't want to get the money. And you're like,
they win the same money.
The point of it is that if they get to the end, they get all of the money. So, like, why would they be sabotaging to make sure that nobody gets any money in the pot? Like, it makes no sense. You people make no sense.
I love it.
And I feel like, Diana, this is only up your alley because you love yelling at the TV and at people. And
I do love yelling at the TV and at people.
It would be perfect for it.
This is like the perfect thing for you.
My favorites are when psychics are on and they're like...
They're clairvoyants.
They're clairvoyants.
And they're like... or a clairvoyant gets like voted off immediately because it's like, well, we can't have them because they're a clairvoyant.
They might know something. What? Meanwhile, they've guessed everything wrong.
It's insanity. Diana, you need to watch this just so I can hear your reactions to yelling at them.
Just so I can like yell.
Yeah, I just need live Diana reactions.
It was like when I was texting you when I was finishing up throwing a glass and I was just enraged.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's fine. I mean, Diana and I have started reading like opposite series. So like I didn't read Crescent City yet and she had read it. So we just rage read and or like rage react to like all the things that are happening to each other.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh, on a side note, I'm losing a toenail again.
Oh, I'm going to lose one too.
And it had nothing to do with running.
Oh, I'm definitely going to lose one from New York.
I stubbed it in the house.
I am about to start my other something good that I just thought of that I'm about to start holiday smut.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
I'm going all in. I have like 10 books downloaded.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going all in on holiday smut.
I'm all right. Confession. I'm getting through my third read of the entire ACOTAR series this year because I'm hyper fixated and this is the only thing I can think about right now. And I'm started Silver Flames again, literally my third reading of Silver Flames. But I think I'm going to put a pause on it because I want to read that smutty candy cane one.
The candy cane one?
Where something naughty happens with the candy cane. It's like My Neighbor's a Grinch, or
How My Neighbor Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
So I started that one. It's taken quite a while to get to a really good smuts part.
Oh my God!
But it is about as Hallmarky enemies to lovers that you can get, and I've finally gotten to the really good parts, and so you will be happy once you get there.
Oh my God.
It takes a little while, but it's going to be worth it.
People are so horny.
I think that's what I'm going to do is start reading these like smutty.
You let me know. When you start it so that we can start chatting about it because I'm about halfway through.
Yeah, I'm almost to the really smutty parts of Silver Flames.
Yeah.
Can you guys just do Orange Theory again?
A smut cast.
Can you do Orange Theory again?
Listen, Melissa wants to join us in a smut cast.
Oh God!
No, I can't commit to anything else. Are you guys crazy? I can barely commit to this.
Well, Diana will be the random person that comes in and just rage yells about stuff, and then she's just gonna be the segment person that rage yells.
Just to be clear, just because I'm rage yelling about something doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really enjoyed Throne of Glass, but I was extremely frustrated at parts.
That's
I feel like in hindsight, it was better. Like looking back at certain books, I'm definitely like that book was the better book than I thought it was at the time I was reading it. But yeah, I was rage reading towards the end. And on that note,
are we done?
I mean,
all right,
we went off the rails.
That's fine. This is awesome.
Diana and I could go off the rails about smut for a long time, so you got to rein it in.
Okay,
that's your job, Tom.
I'm gonna wrap us up with a quote. Everyone's heard it. It's kind of poignant. I looked up who said it.
Is it "Stay with the High Lord"?
No.
Is it "Hello, Farrah, darling"?
It's stop it.
Is it
something about somebody's neck bobbing, their throat bobbing?
To the
Lord,
to the stars, to the dreamers.
No, it's a quote from John Burroughs.
No one wants this.
In the spirit of impulsiveness and just taking action, it's just leap and the net will appear. Go make some bad decisions, everybody.
Oh, bad decisions.
Bye.
And
Yeah.
don't be so impulsive. This is Tom
Stay-
for Aaron, Michael, and Diana.
Stay tuned next week for when you hear Tom's announcement that he put his name in for the New York lottery.
That won't be until February or March.
Oh,
It's fine.
there we go.
We got some time.
True.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Bye.